The next vertical I want to look at is entertainment, and specifically stadiums for things like live events. So again, very similar diagram here. In this case, the use of advanced signage and displays is very, very common in stadiums, whether it be, your center ice type displays. So here you've got multiple high resolution displays showing the game live, or showing ads in between. And all these displays can be driven centrally from one production center. So if you think about even a sports game, it's almost like a live production. So you have a crew that sat there and determining what everybody's seeing on each of those displays, not only center ice, but also see what they're seeing along the ribbon displays around the arena, for example. Also, a lot of big stadiums now provide signage on the exterior. And a lot of this is extremely high quality. You're able to see the pre-game events while you're still outside, while you're still lining up to get inside the stadium itself. And of course, on-ice projection is a big thing now, and similarly in basketball as well. The ability to project logos and information directly onto the playing surface. All this tied together by a distribution system provided by SDVOE. On top of that, you've got your concessions. How many people have experienced that thing where you hear the roar of the crowd as somebody has scored, but the display you're watching above the concessions is a little bit behind? Ideally, you want to be cheering at the same time. So while you queue for your food and drink, you're seeing the game live and you don't miss a thing. Finally, you've got things like suites and boxes where you want all kinds of sources available within those suites, not only the game itself, but other games that may be live in progress, plus, dedicated unique unique feeds rather to that box that have been designed specially for those in attendance. And again, all this is tied together with what SDVOE delivers. So the low latency, again, critical to live events, lip sync and audience reaction. One of my biggest pet peeves is going to concerts and they have these beautiful big displays, but they're not in sync with the actual audio that you're hearing. This is a real problem, especially for musicians. When you're watching a drum solo and you see them hit those drums after the sound, it's a little bit annoying. So with the lowest latency possible, that's avoided. Again, the displays are getting bigger and bigger. A stadium now, the size of the displays they're using, you really need to maintain a high quality source, avoid any kind of compression. Fiber transmission medium, that's the only way to distribute AV in these kinds of stadium scale installations. This is really important. Leveraging existing infrastructure. Most stadiums are pre-wired with fiber that's typically used for broadcast signal distribution. So when a broadcast team comes up to the stadium, they hook into the fiber network that's built into the stadium. You can do the same thing with SDVOE. And the beauty is with interoperability is event crews that are using SDVOE based equipment can plug directly into the stadium's AV network and take advantage of all those displays that are already available within the stadium itself.